Hey everyone.
Wow.
Wow, so hot. Okay, gotta wipe my sweat stash again. Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be doing a full review on the brand new Patrick Ta Major Glow Highlights, which I am super excited about. You guys know that I am very much a highlight girl. I have never let go of like the past decade where everybody was wearing like highlights that were like beaming off their faces. And so I'm very excited that highlights are truly coming back into the industry. It's a little bit different now because now it's going to be more of like a glow. It's going to be something that's a little more ethereal, a little more natural. But I do really love that a lot of these highlight products that are coming out can still be built up so that if you are stuck in the past like I am, you can obviously still build up these highlights to be that beaming, beautiful highlight that we all love so much. So the Patrick Ta highlight does come with two different formulas in here. So you have a cream and then you also have a powder. Now the cream is going to be 0.21 ounces and the powder is 0.14 ounces, and this whole thing does retail for $40. I did actually pick up 3 different shades, and it's mostly just because I was very curious about all of the different formulas that are in here, because based on the colors, sometimes the formula shifts a little bit. And because your girl lacks self-control, that's also part of the reason why I bought 3 shades, but mostly it was for testing purposes. Obviously got the pink shade because I love a good pink shimmer. So this one is called Baby. We have a champagne one, which is Sugar, and then we have My Love. I actually want to talk about My Love the most. This one was the one that I was like, oh, I don't know if I actually really want to buy it, but for a testing purpose, the reason why I decided to end up getting it is because if you guys remember from my Dior Forever Glow Maximizer review, I really loved all the shades that they came out with, but I can't stand this one. This pearly shade is like super chunky, really hard to blend onto your face. And so when I saw that Patrick Ta also released one of those like more white pearly type of highlights, I was like very intrigued because I was like, is it possible that he did it correctly? And the answer is, for the most part, actually yes. Which brings us to exactly how I like review my highlights. Typically there are 3 categories here. So it goes packaging, performance and blendability, and then lasting power. So let's talk about packaging first. I do really love that the cream does come with a lid on top. This kind of protects the cream from getting stabbed or anything like that. Also, I think it protects it from drying out, which is really nice. And it does come in that standard Patrick Ta packaging that is a really beautiful rose gold that is incredibly fingerprint prone. After you've been using it for a long time, this is typically what it looks like. I didn't even bother cleaning it because I was like, it's just gonna keep happening. So packaging wise, absolutely love the way that these are packaged. And now from a performance, okay, the type of glow that this highlight is supposed to give you is supposed to enhance like your natural luminosity, right? And so you can definitely see that with more of the cream side. I wanted to show you the swatches of all of the different shades that I have so that you can really see how that cream versus the powder kind of shines. So on my hand here, so I have My Love first, which is the cream on the right side and then the powder on the left side. So you can see again, when you compare these 2 different formulas, the creams are really going to give you a lot more of that like very natural, like almost wet looking glow, like ooh, like expensive spa day vibes. And then when you look at the powder is going to be a lot more of that like huge hit of color. It's really going to give an impact. It's a little bit more similar to like some of the highlights that we've seen before, where it's really going to be that like huge impact, huge gleam on your face, but should still be easy to blend out. So when we're looking at some of the other shades here, so this one is actually Baby. This is the pink formula actually, and you can see that it's actually not that pink, so there's nothing to be afraid of here. However, the one thing I wanted to point out from a formula perspective is that the Baby color, so the powder highlight in here, this one actually is a little bit more chunky than the other ones. It doesn't have as much of that smooth feeling to it. Sometimes it does feel like it can get a little bit more gritty. So right off the bat, I'll let you guys know, like out of the 3 that I have, this is my least favorite one. And then the third one that we have here, this one is Sugar, and this one is going to be more of that champagne tone. And this one I actually really love as well. It's a little bit more of a natural highlight. So if you're like a natural highlight girl or boy, then this is the one that I would highly recommend for you. In terms of the powder formula, this one is also really beautiful. I love the way that this one blends onto the skin. I think it's very soft, very easy. You don't have any of that grit that you kind of sometimes get, or or the dustiness, if you will, with the baby color. So from a blendability perspective, I actually really like the way that all of these highlights blend onto the skin. Obviously, the cream does a wonderful job. You can apply it with your fingers, with a beauty blender, you can apply it with a brush, which is typically how I like to do it. What I did today, for example, is I actually grabbed the cream on a brush, dabbed that on to my face, and then I layered the powder highlight over it. The reason why I decided to go with this and I wanted maximum highlight today is because we are going to a baseball game. So I wanted to have like maximum highlight, even though I'll be wearing a baseball cap with like shadows on my face. I was like, you get my drift, right? Like, you gotta be highlighted to the highlight when you're wearing a baseball cap. So that's why I decided to go with this one today. Now, one of Patrick Ta's like #1 application techniques that he does is that you can actually layer down the powder first and then put the cream on top of it to really kind of blend it into your skin. I am not a huge fan of that technique, only because I think it actually takes away some of that impact, some of that shine that I want when I apply a powder highlight. However, if you are someone where you're like, oh crap, I put on way too much highlight today, I need to tamp that shit down, I needed to make it look like it's really part of my skin, that it's just like coming from the within, you know what I mean? Like, then you would want to use that technique where you put the cream highlight on top of the powder highlight. What I wanted to say as well is that both of these formulas work beautifully on their own and together. So again, my favorite way of applying this actually is to just put down that cream, and then what I actually do is I'll then take a powder brush and take that powder highlight and take it right on the top of where I applied it on the highlight to just create a point of impact right here on my face instead of highlighting like an entire streak down my face. So I got a little carried away today with the application, but for the most part, particularly when I wanted to go a little bit more natural, that's kind of how I applied it with both baby and sugar. So again, wonderful blending of this formula. I really love the way that it applies on the skin, doesn't pick up on foundation, wears beautifully as well on bare skin. So on the days when I was like, I'm not wearing foundation today, I just want to look like I'm glowy, this cream highlight is like bomb for that. And now for the final category, which is lasting power. Ugh. Okay, let me just say first that the powder highlight does a wonderful job lasting on your skin. Once you apply it to your face, use a setting spray, that shit is locked in and it will be on your face until the end of the day, which is really wonderful. The cream highlight, however, so this does not dry down into a formula that is like transfer proof on your skin. If you are a face toucher, I would probably say, I don't know if this cream is going to be the best formula for you if you are looking for something that's gonna last a long time. Having said that, I don't come into like cream products with the expectation that they're going to be like touchable and like transfer proof and like all that other stuff, just because I don't think that that's totally realistic with a cream product. So instead, what I like to judge the cream products on is what happens after you touch your face. So I've discovered this week when I was testing out these products is that if I did wind up accidentally kind of touching my face and kind of creating like a bit of a dent on my face, what I could easily do is I could take my finger and I could literally just dab it right over this product and it would blend back into my skin again super seamlessly. So it wouldn't look like I created a crater on my face when I touched the highlight. The other thing as well is that you can go back in with a brush or a beauty blender. Like, so let's say if you have this compact in your purse or something like that, you've actually touched your face, you can easily go back and kind of mend the situation. However, for me, like on the days when I know I need my makeup to stay on all day long, like particularly when it's in the hundreds here in California and everybody's just like melting, I will rely more on the powder highlights in these highlights versus the creams. Like those are just a lot more bulletproof, a lot more transfer proof, and so I'm willing to kind of trust the highlight more than I'm gonna trust the cream from a lasting perspective. And that pretty much concludes this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this full review on the Patrick Ta highlight. If you decide to pick up shades, I would highly recommend checking out My Love and Sugar. These two are my absolute favorite. I'm so impressed that they came out with a white highlighter that is like stunning and not chunky and just looks like expensive on your face. Like, oh, I drink so much water. I like have all of the correct nutrients. I don't eat chips regularly. Like, this is really good. If you liked this video, please feel free to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow us over on Instagram if you haven't for Makeup Wednesdays on Reels. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.